Back again on Southeast Texas Weekly, and thank you so much for showing up. I'm Kevin Castillo, joining me Jeffrey Lewis and Dr. Bruce Drury. Mr. Lewis, the Republican, Dr. Bruce Drury, the Democrat, although it wouldn't take you long to know that on your own. Let's get right into it, gentlemen. The president, could this be actually the thing that gives the president a chance to have a successful presidency? This actual defeat, could it turn out to be exactly the kind of thing that President Obama would need to swing the American public back his way?
Well, that's entirely possible, and a lot of that will depend upon the Republican response in Congress. If they are willing to work with the president, then actually Obama's chances of winning re-election in 2012 are probably less good. If they, on the other hand, continue to be intransigent and Obama is willing to go out and make that point consistently to the American people that he's not able to govern because of their intransigence, then that may actually help him in 2012.
Well put, as always. The president said, we get it. Did he get it?
We'll see. I kind of agree there with Dr. Drury in that it's going to depend on the president on what happens here and how he works with the Republicans on whether or not he's reelected in 2012. And I would argue that for the sake of everybody and the sake of the country, it's a really good idea that he do so and get an idea of what the American people said on Tuesday.
Well, the new Speaker of the House will be John Boehner. Speaker Boehner says he will make repeal of the health care reforms his #1 priority. Is this thing settled science or not? Do the people really want to do this repeal or not?
According to the exit poll, there's about a 15-point spread for repeal of health care in favor of complete repeal. Another 30% say they want to see it at least modified.
What do you think of those polls?
Well, I suspect that given the information that was put out on health care reform, that may well be true, but health care reform is not the most important thing.
We're getting a true picture?
The polls demonstrate that the basic concern and the cause of this particular vote primarily was jobs, the economy, not health care, not cap and trade or things of that sort. So it's still the economy creating jobs. People are insecure. There's also another factor here, and then this was a different electorate than the one that showed up in 2008. It was a much older, more conservative electorate. Obama
just energized based on the idea that they don't like what happened, or energized? Why were the conservatives energized?
Well, conservatives were energized because of the economy, primarily.
And seniors were energized for the same reason, or the seniors
and a lot of younger voters sat it out. Younger voters who went to the polls and voted for Obama in both the primary and the general election basically sat this one out.
But there's a synergistic effect between the health care policies that we've seen and some of the economy numbers that we've seen.
How so?
When you talk about the uncertainty of employers being able to know how they're going to be able to handle hiring and handle the staffing and some of the burdensome 1090 forms that were going to be out there for the small businesses that really just weigh down on paperwork, you know, that really hurts the econoay.
But that didn't affect any votes to speak of.
So the Democratic Party is dead and gone, or what? The Democratic Party is passé? I mean, we've got victories from Senator Reid, the Senate Majority Leader saved the day. Barbara Boxer is alive and well in the state of California. Are the Democrats as dead as some people would like to make it?
No, 2 years ago, the New York Times ran an article that said Republicans were an endangered species. Yet, I mean, we're not seeing anything of that sort on this side today. What we've seen really is that Americans have shown their interest in a balanced government. We want to see arguments from both sides, and Republicans have been largely cut out. They have not been the party of no, as the doctor dares to suggest.
3 minutes.
But they have. You know, we didn't have the numbers to be the party of no to begin with. You did shut down every piece of liberal legislation.
What did they introduce?
They don't get to introduce anything. They're not in control of the House or Senate. We are now, and we're going to see what we introduce now. You got to have the numbers to be control of the agenda to begin with.
All right, Texas politics. Governor Perry won a resounding victory. Let's go with this question to begin with, Dr. Drury. Is Governor Rick Perry really that popular, or is Texas just really that conservative?
Well, The answer to that is yes. You know, both are true. Perry actually did far better this time than he did in 2006. So well that, and he was thinking about this before the election actually, that he will probably be a candidate for the presidency in 2012. He's out hawking a book right now, and basically running as an electable Tea Party person.
Okay.
Because although he's not identified directly with Tea Party, he was one of the first supporters of that particular movement,
and he will say he's tough on immigration reform.
Indeed.
Anybody see what happened in Arizona with Governor Brewer's
Brewer
election?
won handily.
What does it mean?
Well, it means that, you know, here in the South and along the border states, border security is a huge issue. It's something that's kind of whitewashed up in Washington and in the northern states, but here, you know, where we have real issues with MI9 coming across the border and causing a whole bunch of trouble. I mean, you have a lot of problems there in Arizona where apparently the Obama administration is wanting to cede part of American territory to Mexico.
Texas lawmakers have also discussed this matter of legislation not that far removed from what we saw proposed in the state of Arizona. Does the fact that Brewer won her re-election in such a resounding way, does it say anything to us about whether that legislation could or should pass in the great state of Texas?
Well, there's a serious problem with that. On the one hand, it's a good, easy issue. And certainly now
it's an easy issue.
The Republicans will have the votes in the Texas legislature to pass some sort of control. Immigration is still a federal matter. And doing something which, such as Arizona did, will probably end up with objection from some of the businesses because even though they may say they don't want immigrants, and especially illegal immigrants, they certainly do employ them and take advantage of that low wage system.
Immigration may be a federal matter, but when the federal government abdicates its authority and refuses to address it, then it does fall into Article 10, and it comes down to states' rights. We have the ability to defend our territory when the federal government fails to do so.
Duly noted, gentlemen. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Great to see you, as always. Great to see you. And we're back with more Southeast Texas Weekly right after this break.